So, today we're gonna go through some Reddit things. It is 6:30 a.m. I've kind of hurt my chest yesterday, while working out. I don't know how. Well, actually not while working out, but afterwards because of some dumb movement. Yeah. So this fucks a bit. Kind of heavy, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know what I've done. I've had it once, like really kind of similar. Maybe not in the same. Well, actually, I think the same spot as well, to be honest. But I don't know. We're gonna go through some Reddit things, and we're gonna talk about these particular things. And so yeah, let's see what we're gonna encounter. Let's see what we're gonna see. Yeah. Be prepared to be alone by the Stoicism subreddit. This doesn't mean you won't find a girlfriend or wife, boyfriend or husband. This doesn't mean you won't have long-lasting and meaningful relationships. This means there will be a time, likely many, that you are the only one practicing a philosophy which emphasizes virtue and focuses on the highest good. There will be times when you won't be able to relate to the ones who you associate with. That's fine. Don't stop to anyone's level merely for their benefit, or worse, for your own. It's your job to uphold our standards and practices and maintain the level of commitment to knowledge in every circumstance. This is a message to my former self and anyone who can benefit. Vivere militare est, which I guess is Latin. And I gotta have to say, you're gonna encounter a lot of people that are not on your standards. And of course, you're also going to meet people that are above your standards, that are doing more than you are doing. And it makes sense to be inspired by those people, and makes sense to try what they're doing and not try what those people are doing that are doing less than you are, at least in my point of view. I mean, it's totally up to you in the end, but yeah, anyway. I'm going to do push-ups every day to celebrate being free from my manipulative, cheating ex-boyfriend. Towards the end, he told me I wasn't fit enough and wanted me to be skinnier, like the guys he was cheating on me with. So I'm getting fit now for myself. Well, I do wonder though, whether it is actually for this person, or what it is like, okay, I'm gonna show him. Okay, I'm gonna fuck him over, for what he did to me. And, if it is this, or if it is the case, then, it's no good. It's not amazing, because, for the sake of health, for the sake of feeling better, for the sake of going for your goals, it truly is an amazing thing, don't get me wrong, please. But if it is solely based on revenge to some degree, then I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know if it is smart. I don't know if it is the best thing to do. But yeah, in the end, it's a difficult thing. It really is. But I feel that this person is hurt, kind of. I like by imagining it, like this situation. One of your dearest friends, probably also to some degree, like your boyfriend, being like, wow, I want you to be skinnier, and then also knowing that he's kind of cheating on you, like, it's a fucked up place to be in, and it really is. In general, the whole lot thing, partnerships and partners and breakups and all of these things, these are incredibly tough things. They shouldn't be underestimated at my point of view. But of course, it always depends on how you're dealing with these things. I have not had amazing experiences. Well, it depends on how you think about it. But of course, they have been negative experiences. But you can use them to learn something. That's just totally the case. And yeah. You can always learn something. It always depends on how you think about things and how you're putting them, how your perspective on them. Like it is a mental game in the end. It really is. As so many things, life essentially is a mental game. You know, if you're just well prepared mentally, then you're in a really good place to be in. That's for sure. It's 100% the case. You know, of course. I mean, I think the best example is, since I'm a paramedic and I'm having to do with a lot of elderly people at a time, there is so many elderly people that are, physically they're super well off. Everything's fine. They can walk. They can do whatever. Of course, they're older or old, and therefore their, movement speed might be lower. Their, athleticism might not be as high as a 20-year-old's. But if they're just, ill or broken or whatever mentally, you can't do anything. You can't just do anything. If you're having dementia, for example, which, at least as far as I know, it does not particularly have any effects on your physical well-being. If you're having that, your life is still gonna be fucked. Even though you're physically not really ill. And I mean also people that have had an apoplex. I think it probably is also the term. Well, it is kind of, I think, the scientific term, which is let's describe it as having blood in your head, which is never ever something good. Which leads to kind of, in the end, breakdown of certain parts of the brain, which is going to cause different things. It could actually be affecting every single part of your fucking body, quite. And if you've had that, then you're fucked. But, it wasn't really my point. My point was, if you're fucked mentally, then it doesn't really matter if you've, if you're well off physically, your life is still going to be really bad. But vice versa, if you're having a great mind, but, your body's having certain issues, it's not that of a problem. I mean, you can't have 2 broken legs. You could be sitting in a wheelchair. But if you're well off mentally, in a good place mentally, also from a positivity perspective on, your life is going to be pretty good. Or you can make your life pretty good. So in the end, it's just a mental thing. It really is. It's boiled down. It is a mental thing. And, it probably makes sense to also focus on your mentality and focus on what you're saying to yourself, and focus on what you're saying in general, and all of these things. Like, it is something that I should really keep an eye on. On a physical level, I'm super well off. Mentally, I could definitely work on that. I have, actually quite put myself in the space of feeling miserably. You know what I mean? Just because I view certain things in a dumb way, quite. My perspective on certain aspects of life have made myself feel really bad. And it is only a mental thing. And it is only because of myself, quite. I mean, there is so much to be grateful for. And don't get me wrong, like, the whole grateful thing, at least in my point of view, is a bit overdone and a bit, overused, and also, probably, I don't want to say not as good as people think. It is an amazing thing, and it is probably going to help you, but it's not as easy as it seems. Like, okay, just be grateful, saying like, okay, I'm grateful for just living in this country. Yeah, okay, I am grateful. But is it really going to change myself internally, and also especially subconsciously? Probably not. At least just not from one moment to the other. Like, I'm still going to be depressed deeply inside of me. If you know what I mean. Like, it's not going to change you immediately. It's not going to, maybe it is changing you immediately, but it's not going to last long. It's going to be a 1-second thing. And then your depression kicks in again and whatnot. Like, these mental things, they really have to be worked on. It's not an easy thing. It really is not. This is the reason why there is psychologists, there is psychotherapy and whatnot. Like, just makes sense. I mean, it is a process, and I don't know, like, I think it also just makes sense that if you think about mental things and what effect that they can have on a body, it just makes sense that if you are in a good space, if you're really positive and a positive person, then it is going to affect you in such a tremendous way. Just because if you are completely the opposite, if you're depressed, sad, and whatnot, it is just like the effects on the body, they have been shown. I mean, there are studies on that and whatnot, but it is insane. And it just shows that in both directions, positive and negative, the mental game is fucking important, and a pretty big contributor to certain things, like not feeling good or feeling good and whatnot. Every time I'm not the best at something, I just want to quit. How do I stop acting like this? Well, I kind of know it in a similar way. If I'm not good at something, I am getting really angry. But I don't know why. And also, if I then get criticized, and this is, well, probably based on some maybe childhood trauma things, or just again some mental shit. If I get criticized, then it is fucking over. Then I really quickly really feel quite bad, and hopefully, or I'm actually pretty grateful that it is not lasting that long. But yeah, I've come to the realization that if something gets in my way, it just makes me want to quit instead of getting over it. For instance, when I have drawing class and I'm struggling, my instant reaction is wanting to go cry in a bathroom instead of asking for help, and I get super anxious. I always think everyone is better than me, and sometimes even cry seeing my classmates' projects because I feel so inferior. I've somehow convinced myself that I don't have capabilities. Did any of you go through this? How can I stop thinking this way? Any advice would be gladly appreciated. Let's actually have a look what people say. Let's read the top comment. Look into fixed mindset and growth mindset. Google it and check out the book on it by Carol Dweck called Mindset, which, by the way, is, I've went through it. Well, I've tried to, but it's been so scientific, at least at my point of view, and so complicated for me to review and read that I had to abandon it. That I had to stop, to stop actually recording, because I didn't see any way in which I could go through that. Which, in the end, this is a really sad thing, but I mean, it is what it is. Basically, having a fixed mindset means that you believe that you are who you are now and you can't change yourself and improve your skills. That is problematic, because according to this belief, if you fail at something, you will have proved to yourself and others that you are unable to do it because you can't learn from your experience and improve. The result is that you don't want to try things that you aren't already good at, which sucks because you don't get any practice, which is what you need to actually improve your drawing skills. Yeah. I just constantly recommend this book to people because it also accurately explains so many of my problems. Well, I mean, there is a simple reason for that. We all have the same problems, or similar ones. And at least, there's so many people, the chance that somebody's having the same problems you're having is really, really, really high. And obviously, a lot of people are writing books, and so the chance, therefore, that they're writing about something that you are having a problem with and or struggling with is also relatively high. So maybe I should check out the growth and fixed mindset. Might just hurt still so bad. But I would recommend Googling it and actually not kind of having a look at the book. It depends though. But I don't actually, which is something that I had in my mind, I don't want to talk about commitment. Like, you're going to buy the book and so you're more committed than when you don't buy the book. I don't necessarily think that this is the case, but I don't know. I didn't read that many books. Those books that I've read, they were pretty amazing, but I tend to forget things relatively quickly. So So the sense behind that could be, we could discuss that. We could debate that. But I think that you're gonna get enough information by Googling anyway. So Google it and see what it can do with it, and see whether it can help you or not. Mental health and mindfulness practitioner offering support. Well, I'm gonna skip that one. Image training. When a person trains once, nothing happens. When a person forces himself or herself to do a thing 100 or 1,000 times, then he certainly has developed in more ways. But in more ways than physical. What? He certainly has to develop in more ways than physical. Is it raining? That doesn't matter. Am I tired? That doesn't matter either. Then willpower will be no problem. Emil, whatever, Sadobek or something. I don't know. I hate every minute of training, but I said don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Muhammad Ali. And the question is, are you a champion? Well, am I a champion? Well, I go through actually quite a lot of suffering to really be honest. Like to not only be like, wow, I'm so good, but there's a lot of suffering in my life, mentally and physically. Kind of being sore every day and yeah. Anyway, this is a good thing from the Suggest Me a Book subreddit. Books, which is the title, books without constant commentary on women's beauty and appearance. Well, are you gonna find that? Is there something like that? I don't know. How long am I recording actually? I think it's kinda 17 minutes. Let's actually go through the last one and then let's wrap that up. Actually, the talking today is really, really good, even though I've just woken up. Like normally it is like horrible as fuck because of whatever reason. I don't actually know. Well, this is actually a pretty good metaphor. Well, it depends. I am done setting myself on fire to keep everyone else warm. For most of my life, I have put other people's problems and feelings ahead of my own. I have held my tongue a lot when I wanted to speak what was on my mind in fear of losing a quote-unquote friend. I have given my time and effort to put who don't appreciate it. I'm done with all of it now. I'm going to my life for me from now on. Okay. If someone wants to be part of that journey, then I will gladly let them in, but I am done trying to bring people along with me who don't want to be there. I cut off a lot of toxic people, but I feel free. I feel like I took control of my life for the first time ever, and it's so empowering. I can't wait to see who I become in this next year. There's probably some more to it, but something that I want to note here is something that Gary Vee said, relatively recently. It might have been a story, it might have been some video that I've dug up, or I don't actually know. But cutting out people is done mentally. I mean, of course you can do it physically, but it is to some degree, and then concerning certain things, certain aspects of life, it's way more difficult than cutting them out mentally. Of course, cutting people out mentally is fucking difficult, but it is not, the thing is, if you want to change your mind, you can change your mind. If you don't want to cut this person out anymore because the person changed, then you can do it. But if you have done it in a physical way, like from the beginning on, then, well, it's a bit more difficult. So I don't know. I think the mental thing is, the question is, how can you do that? Which is going to involve deeply not giving a fuck about whatever they say, and whatever they do and whatever they want you to do. And then it gets complicated, but I think that, the mental thing is a pretty good thing. Today I learned, which is going to be the last one, Hitler's chauffeur, Erich Kempka, left the bunker with a group of others after Hitler's suicide. They got rid of their uniforms and disguised themselves in civilian clothes Soviet soldiers found the group and insisted they join them and drink vodka in celebration of victory. Why is this such a cliche thing? Why do they have to drink vodka? Why? You know? I'm actually quite often against like these cliche things just because, I don't know, boring. But on the other hand, it's actually also quite funny. Imagining that. Like, you know, something that I always want to add, and I'm not high or on any other drug or whatever, but one's imagination is fucking amazing. I mean, there's often so many funny things that are going on in my fucking head when I'm just around, and you know, most often when I'm working, like, yeah. Anyway, I think that I'm gonna end the episode here, so I'm hopefully gonna see you the next time. And yeah, I wish the best health of happiness and also success. And I also hope that you are gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy and basically means just being a nice person and then as well being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty nice thing. And yeah, 3 other questions that I have you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? And then yeah, one last idea that I want to add is, what could you essentially say to another person that is indeed going to change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something and we all can communicate something that is indeed going to change somebody's life. I just really believe in that. And with that being said, I'm going to see you the next time. So bye bye.